So hello everyone, in this video we will see a design problem of calculating the lateral forces in x and y direction for the given building plan. This is the plan of building given here. So, and we are using considering linear static procedure. What is linear static procedure? This is static procedure is discussed in the last video. This formula is called linear static procedure. So using this formula, we are going to calculate the lateral forces on different story in both the direction. So let us begin. So in this you are able to see this plan of this building. Here it is. Okay. So this is actually 6 by 3 bay structure. 6 rooms in one direction and 6 rows in 6 columns in one direction and 3 rows in another direction. So you can see this is x direction and this is y direction. Dimension of one block, one room is 4.5 meter into 4.5 meter. This is plan. This is the plan. So all of those rectangular, small rectangular boxes that you are seeing here, they are all columns. What is the dimension of column? Each dimension of column is 0.35 meter into 0.35 meter. Then the horizontal green lines, these green lines are actually beams. And these beams, size of beam is 0.3 meter thick and 0.545 meter depth. And this building is raised to 3-story building. Then comes this white region. This white region, this white region, this white region, all these are slabs, and slabs are also called as diaphragm. So thickness of slab is 150 mm and height of one story is 3.5 meter. Live load is 4 kilonewton per meter. Unit weight of RCC, you know this value. Unit weight of masonry 20 kilonewton per meter cube, you know this. Masonry walls are also there. Walls are made above these beams. Walls are also made. Okay. Then another one material, mud fusca, which is used for the cooling effect on the roof. This is 0.15 meter thick and it has been applied only on the roof, of which the unit weight is 16 kilonewton per meter cube. The earthquake zone is 5. Response reduction factor is 5. Importance factor is 1. So let us start calculating the what are the different seismic weights. So before starting, let us begin. What is the different kinds of load which is acting on each floor? So let us calculate starting with the floor area. So you are able to see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and such 3. 6 into 3. There are 18 floors of this area. So this is the total area of floor. And when we multiply this total area of floor into thickness, we get the volume of floor. And into multiplied by the density of concrete, then we get the self weight of total floor area. So all of these floor is supported by the beams. How many beams are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like this, if you add, then you will get 45 beams. So above all those 45 beams, there are brick infill walls. So 45 multiplied by this length into breadth into thickness. Thickness of infill wall is 0.15 meter. And this is the length. Why 4.15 meter? Because we have used 4.5 meter is the length of the room minus minus we have to reduce the dimension of one column 0.35 meter. Okay, so it will come 4.15. 4.15 meter is the length, and then comes the height. Why height is 3.05 meter? Because the height of one story is 3.5 meter. Okay, but the depth of column is 0.45 meter. You can see it here. So minus 0.45 meter if you do it, and then you will get this height. And thickness, you know, you have multiplied here by its density. So we will get this self weight of brick infill walls. Then comes the self weight of all the columns. There are 28 columns. They all will be multiplied by, this is the dimension of column, cross sectional area, and this is the height of column. Why 3.35 meter? Because column's height is actually 3.5 meter, but it's the part of this height, some part of height is this covered in slab also. 0.15 meter thick is covered in the slab also, diaphragm. So this height is already covered in the slab, so we are not going to include it, so we have to subtract this value. So we will get 3.35 meter, and then we can multiply it again. So this is the total weight of columns. Then comes the total self weight of beams. There are 45 beams, and this is the thickness of beam. This is the length of, this is the depth of the beam. Why depth of the beam is 0.3 meter? Because depth of the beam was actually the depth of beam was 0.45 meter. Okay, but 0.15 meter part was already covered in the slab, so we have again reduced it here. So this is the length into, no, thickness into breadth, and this is the length of the beams. Why 4.15 meter? Again the same technique, because there was length was actually 4.5 meter length, but minus you have to reduce 0.35 meter of column also, so you will get 4.15, and this you multiplied by self unit density of concrete, you will get total self weight of beams also. Then comes the weight of mud fusca. Mud fusca's this is the total floor area. You multiply total floor area by thickness into density of mud fusca, you get the self weight of mud fusca. Total live load 4 kilonewton per meter square into this value. Why this half is taken? Actually if we consider this clause number, then according to this 50% of live load only will be considered. All right, so this is very important. So we have calculated all the self weight of floor, self weight of brick infill walls, self weight of columns, self weight of beams, self weight of mud fusca. So all these 5 self weights have to be calculated by every one of you. Then only we can proceed further to calculate the seismic weight of each floor. And after getting seismic weight of each floor, if you sum all of those weights, you will get seismic weight of entire building. So what is the seismic weight of first floor? What is the seismic weight of second floor? What is the seismic weight of third floor? Because this is a 3-story building. So let us draw a simple rough diagram of 3-story building. So this is our 3-story building, of which this is the foundation. Okay. This is our roof. Then comes this floor. Then comes this floor. Okay. As you can see, if this is my first floor, this is my second floor, this is my third floor. So on the first floor, what is this? First floor you have to consider entire floor weight, then half of the above columns and half of lower columns. This weight, entire weight, one has to consider. So if you consider half of above column, half weight of above column, half weight of the lower half column, then it will come to the total self weight of the total length of column. Similar condition will be for this case. Half of the above half weight of the above half columns plus weight of lower half columns. But for the third case, for calculating seismic weight of the roof, there is no column above the roof. There is no column. So you just have to consider the weight of lower half columns. So in the self weight of columns, just divide it by 2. Also remember that what we have to remember that mud fusca is only applied on the roof. So you just have to consider mud fusca's weight on roof only. Okay, so let us start calculating by seismic weight, first of all W3. So this is the seismic weight of roof. So first of all self weight will be considered 13.66. Okay, then comes weight of infill walls. You can remember there is no wall above the roof. Then come, okay, starting with floor weight. This is floor weight. Then comes mud fuska is there. This is floor weight. What is this? 420 is the weight of the beams. So weight of the beams. Why this 287 is divided by 2? Because there is no column above the roof, so only half of the columns, half of the weight which is the of lower columns is considered. Then comes this 1708 divided by 2. Why? Because there is no walls above roof, only the weight of lower half walls has been considered to calculate seismic weight of roof. Then if you just come with me and see the seismic weight of second floor and first floor, you do not consider here mud fuska weight. What we have considered 13.1366. This is the self weight of floor. This is the self weight of brick infill wall, because the wall is above as well as below. So we considered half of the weight of the above walls as well as columns, and half of the weight of the lower half of columns and brick infill walls. So this is that, and this is column weight, and this is beams weight. And what is this 729? 729 is total live load. See, live load is not considered on the roof, क्योंकि roof पे कोई नहीं जाता है. roof पे एज सच कोई भी लाइव लोड नहीं लगाने का है. लाइव लोड सिर्फ इंटरमीडिएट रूफ पे ही लगता है. दैट यू कैन डू एंड यू कैन कैलकुलेट वेरी इजीली दिस सीस्मिक वेट. ओके, so we can calculate design seismic base shear using this formula. Okay, what is W is the seismic weight of building, and the seismic weight of building is the simply W is the summation of W1 plus W2 plus W3. So it is not very difficult. You can calculate by adding these three loads, W1, W2, W3. What is AH? AH is design horizontal acceleration spectrum value. How it is calculated? This is the formula just we have discussed in the last class. So Z, this will be given in the question, or you can go to the IS code, or also see the what is the value of zone factor for zone number 5. So you will come to this value. Importance factor is given, response reduction factor is given. So now you have to calculate Z is given, I by R is given, SC by G is not given. So since this is a multi-story building with brick infill wall, so you have to use this formula to calculate time period, and time period has to be calculated into the two direction, in X direction and in Y direction, because there are two direction with two different dimensions. So in the time period formula you just put everything on the formula, but D, what is the value of D? D is the dimension in the X direction. So there are how many 6 columns into 4.5 meter. What it will come? 6 into 4.5 is equal to 27 meter. This is in X direction. Similarly dy is equal to 3 into 4.5 meter. Then you will come to 13.5 meter. So in the first formula you are seeing here 27 meter. In the second formula you are seeing here 13.5 meter. Okay, so if we just calculate these two value, and our soil value is given, everything, and we can calculate this SA by G using that graph. Going and seeing that graph, we can calculate SA by G in the first case, SA by G in the second case. By some arrangement, both the values are same in the both the case. So we will get SA by G is equal to 2.5 in both the direction. So put the values in the formula, and as I have told you, seismic weight of building is sum of all the three loads, and then we have added this and we just multiply it to get the load. All right. Now comes actually the how to distribute the entire base shear. Base shear can be multiplied. This, when you multiply W by H, we will get this base shear, and base shear is obtained as VB is equal to 1141.56 kilonewton. Okay, so this is what base shear is given. So how this much lateral horizontal seismic force is distributed on first floor, second floor, third floor, because this is the value of shear at the base. Because at the base, if we calculate the shear in this direction, there will be 1141.56. How it will become 1141.56? When we sum this, then it will come equal to this value, and this can be easily calculated using this formula. All these value q1, q2, q3. The q1 is the lateral horizontal seismic force on floor 1, q2 is the lateral horizontal seismic force on floor 2, q3 is the lateral horizontal seismic force on floor 3. So use this formula and you can very easily get it. There is not as much requirement to explain it. You can understand it. This simple distribution of the numbers. Then comes, after calculating these loads, we can design for the slabs, and then we can also design these are all just self weight, just we can check it. Don't need to, I am not going to ask these questions, these kinds of design problem, because then we have to carry out the analysis in StatPro. And StatPro is a software where we can put all these values, and then we can calculate shear force and bending moment for all the beams, for the all above load combination. What are the load combination? These are the load combinations, and we can do this in the later 7th semester practical lab. If you come, then we will teach you how to calculate the shear force and bending moment at 3 points in the beam: left of the beam, mid of the beam, right part of the beam. So wherever you get the maximum values, for those values we need to design the beams. And we know, when we know the bending moment, maximum bending moment, then we calculate mu by bd square, and from sp by sp16 we can right away calculate pt, percentage steel reinforcement. Okay, so this steel reinforcement will help us to calculate what should be the number of steel bars that we need to provide. So this will not be asked in question as such in exam. You can have to just see this because this requires involvement of StatPro. We have just incorporated this in these slides just to make you understand. So the main purpose of this problem is that you just have to understand how to calculate the lateral horizontal seismic forces on each of the floors. So till now we have understood how to calculate this. So I would say that you just have to focus how this is being calculated more. So of course in the next part you just have to go through all these detail way. You can just go through it, and then you can understand how the steel reinforcement is provided for different cases. And then in the next class we will discuss what are the IS standards for ductile detailing of RCC structures which are subjective. देखो अगले जो वीडियो में होगा वो हम देखेंगे ये जो IS 13920 है ये कैसे बनाता है एक स्ट्रक्चर को डक्टाइल, क्योंकि इसमें कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे स्टील इन्फोर्समेंट में डिटेलिंग में हम कुछ स्पेशल प्रोसेस को यूज करेंगे जिससे हमारा डक्टाइल डिटेलिंग होगी. वो डक्टाइल डिटेलिंग स्ट्रक्चर को डक्टिलिटी बढ़ा देगी, एंड देन इट विल रियली बी अर्थक्वेक प्रूफ इन अ वन वे. So such structures will not become ordinary moment resisting frame. Those frames will become special moment resisting frame. So stay tuned.